So, you know,
Incredible.
being young, I remember only things like that. I remember when they stopped allowing us to go to the movie and there were signs all over, you know, Jews forbidden. What I brought was just from my childhood, and I don't know how much you would be interested. Here is the my mother's passport. Thank you very much. The children were put on the parents' passport, and that was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a German passport. We were called stateless. In other words, we weren't citizens of any country. So it's the passport is indicating that we were state without any citizenship. Do you have any questions?
I answered most of them already.
Oh,
No, it's fine.
that's okay.
Well, I know you said already, but I just want to remember, like, how old were you?
I was 9.
So,
No,
Oh.
none of us were sent to the camps because of my father's being daring. And so
okay, so you...
we, after this occurred, we of course never went back to that apartment. We ended up in a different apartment, and we applied. My cousin here had to do all the affidavits all over again. It was my mother's sister, her children here, who, you know, prepared all the affidavits, and we got the visa this time, and we came through Oslo, Norway. We went, I'm trying to see where I have it. I don't have it. Yeah, we had to go to Oslo, and we went on a Norwegian ship, and it landed in Brooklyn. We didn't go to Ellis Island. I don't know why. We went directly to Brooklyn, and my mother's sister, the aunt, and my cousin picked us up. So we didn't have any of the camps, or as I said, we were spared all that. From Oslo, we took a train out of Hamburg. That's a city I was born in, Hamburg. Took a train out of Hamburg and went through the English Channel. I don't recall. All I know is we ended up in Oslo. We stayed in the hotel one night. Next day, the ship was ready to leave.
Yeah, I know you said, but so wait, this was in America? So you were sent to America, or?
Yes, we came directly from Oslo. We took a train out of Hamburg. That's a city I was born in, Hamburg. Took a train out of Hamburg and went through the English Channel. I don't recall. All I know is we ended up in Oslo. We stayed in the hotel one night. Next day, the ship was ready to leave.
So your father was unfortunately never sent to camp?
No. He just got as far as the jail, and then he got out.
Right.
Yeah, no, the rest of the people from that jail were not sent to camps yet. They were just sent to Poland, where they put them into ghettos, and then, as we all know from the history, from those ghettos, they gradually took them little by little to the camps, to the exterminate, except for those. Some did survive the ghettos, you know, they went underground, they dug tunnels, etc. No, my parents didn't. And later on, they did round up the German Jews too. You know, of course, we had left. It was a miracle because maybe it was the guard that was there that allowed him to leave. You know, at the time, I was just happy to see my parents the next day, and it was later on that the story made a lot more sense. And as I grew up, the story became very significant. At the time I was a kid, it didn't. I just, went along with everything. I didn't go to school from that time until I came. All the schools were closed. The synagogue was destroyed. My brother saw that because the boys' school was right next to the synagogue. The girls' school was somewhere else, so I didn't see that. But that was all happening in November 38th during Christmas. And when we came here, we were allowed to bring a lot of household stuff. They took my mother's jewelry, all the diamonds or anything that was valuable. But they did allow some cheaper jewelry. She had a cheaper ring, a wedding band, and when they were packing the trunk, I remember the SS guy was standing. He had to see every piece that went in there, so we didn't smuggle anything out that was valuable. And I just remember the guy standing there as my mother was packing all the stuff into this, pretty big truck.
And how did the guards look like SS? How did the guards look like? Like they had their weapons?
I just remember the boots. They had the boots, the uniform, dark uniform. I don't remember if they had weapons. They might have. I know the boots scared me more than anything.
Yeah.
You're a little girl. And to this day, I do not like boots. I won't wear. I just have an aversion to boots.
And now I'm sure you said this before, but I just wanted to make sure. Wait, do you know the name of the place your parents were sent?
No, it was just the jail in Hamburg. It was in the city of Hamburg where we lived. And I guess it was the jail. I wouldn't know the name of the jail, no. Now I know my father's sister, my aunt and her family were also picked up at the same time and were sent to the same jail, but they lived in a different district. So they didn't see each other. But later on we found out they did not want they had only one child, a daughter who was about 5 or 6 years older than me. They didn't want to send her away. My parents sent us away not knowing what was going to happen. But my aunt didn't want to. And she was shipped off with them to Poland. And we later found out she was shot. I mean, they all died. But she was a teenager who, from the story it came back to was that she tried to argue with one of the guards. And other sisters and their children that stayed in Poland. We never heard from them again. And after the war, when we came here, my parents tried to find out. They never could locate my brother did a genealogy of my father's side of the family. He did a whole book. We can't find them because we don't know the last name. See, when my aunt got married, we don't know the last name of her husband in Poland, so I can't trace my cousins. If they survive, I have no way of tracing them since I don't know their last name.
Yeah.
My brother went to Poland, he tried to get records, and he was told that they were all destroyed. So the Polish people destroyed the records. He did get records. Oh, Germany kept wonderful records. So he's got all the records from Germany. And of course, he also went to Israel. He interviewed a lot of relatives that we never knew existed in order to make his family tree. So he discovered from my father's side, my father had a lot of uncles, their children, and we discovered those. So, I mean, it's good to know that a lot of our family did survive on my father's side. And my mother's side, except for my aunt, they came here at a very early age and, got married and had children. Other than that, I think nobody else did. That's why I brought this picture. We had very long and a very nice life. I went to private school and, had nice clothes. So it was all very nice having all that interrupted. When I came here, my parents couldn't afford much, so I'd wear, say, one dress. I maybe got one or two dresses, and I'd be wearing them over and over. In fact, I remember one of the girls saying to me, don't you have any other dresses? You wear the same thing every day.
Right.
Which is not, it doesn't make a little kid feel good.
Right.
Yeah, but, my father got a job for minimum income, which couldn't afford to go out and buy clothes.